We're comparing Avalanche and Solana in today's video, and really these are two blockchains with some of the biggest ecosystems, respectively, in the entire crypto space. For example, at the time of this recording, you can see that the AVAX community, along with the the SOL community, together they move $810 million and $975 million together in 24 hours. And also, both networks are constantly developing optimized, decentralized applications in all kinds of sectors like DeFi, NFTs, play-to-earn games, and of course DAOs. However, we're going to try not to compare them strictly on the basis of economic merits, because really they are very much two different beasts. And the two projects are not the same. They offer different features. In this video, we're looking at both the strengths and the weaknesses of Avalanche and Solana, two of the hottest blockchains out there in the space. My name is Maddie and this is Altcoin Buzz. We are a crypto investment research company. We have documented many 100x returns on coins and tokens that are top projects today, really before anyone else was even talking about them. And if you want to see our detailed process for researching such projects, then our new and improved Altcoin Buzz Access Group is for you. Our plans start at $99 monthly. Be sure to click the link below for more information. You guys know the drill. We're sharing this information with you. Do with it what you will, but do not consider it to be official, financial, or investment advice, because that's not what we offer. All right, so let's get right into it. And by way of introduction, we'll kind of define both projects a little bit, beginning with Avalanche. And AVAX, by the way, is its token. Avalanche is a high-performance, scalable, secure POS, that's proof of stake blockchain, where users can make an eco-friendly transaction in less than 2 seconds. And really, the cost is only a fraction of a cent. And as per a January 2022 report, Avalanche had 17,700 developers. And the projections for that number actually keep growing. There seems to be no end in sight. That's a huge figure. And Avalanche is not only backed by their community, but also by the Ava Labs group, which has extensive experience and a great team of individuals really who lead Fortune 500 companies such as Microsoft, Google, Morgan Stanley, AT&T, NASA, and some other big names as well. And then the contender here stepping into the ring is Solana, whose ticker is SOL, S-O-L. Solana itself was created in 2017. It's also a decentralized blockchain, of course, where developers can build scalable and user-friendly dApps. And currently, every transaction fee costs $0.00025 with 2,192 TPS, that's transactions per second, with a maximum TPS of 700,000. But that's going to depend on how software continues to develop. These have definitely become nicely optimized conditions, which is really part of why Solana has continued to grow as one of the fastest growing blockchains in the entire ecosystem, with really a big variety of dApps, again, in DeFi, NFTs, DAOs, and more. The team behind Solana is known as Solana Labs. They support the Solana blockchain technically. You can always look them up on all kinds of different social media. Here we're highlighting their LinkedIn presence. With introductions out of the way, let's now talk about the features of each project, beginning with AVAX. So in Avalanche, developers have the flexibility to code private and public smart contracts, and also they can develop scalable dApps with fungible and non-fungible tokens in them. In other words, and as per the Avalanche white paper, they have the following features. First of all, they're very scalable. So this means that any of Avalanche's dApps can be used by a whole lot of people worldwide without sacrificing that particular dApp's performance. So therefore, people can make a big number of transactions, given that Avalanche can support right now 4,500 TPS for each subnet. It also prides itself on security and decentralization, because Avalanche is the first permissionless blockchain that can truly be secure when 51% of miners are attacked by hackers, because it has 1.2 thousand, that's 1,200 validators, which earn 9.8% yearly, by the way, a pretty good figure. With Avalanche, you can also participate in its governance mechanism. So anyone who holds AVAX, they have one vote to decide on governance proposals and also to make voting proposals. However, unlike other blockchains, Avalanche doesn't allow unlimited changes to its system. Another core feature is interoperability, because Avalanche is designed to connect with other blockchains to import balances, support the execution of smart contracts, and a whole lot of other features as well. For example, dBridge, which is a cross-chain protocol that has already developed bridges that connect Avalanche with Ethereum, BNB Chain, Heco, Arbitrum, and Polygon. That's just one example. Another important bridge protocol compatible with Avalanche is OneChain, something that we've covered in the past. This can connect Avalanche with other blockchains like Bitcoin, Polkadot, Moonriver, Ripple, Dogecoin, Phantom, and EOS. But then we have to consider Solana. And on the other side of the ring here, we really have one of the most interesting features of Solana, which is that projects will fully integrate in Solana's solid layer 1 platform, meaning that dApps will be more secure and stable with time. Also, another important thing to consider is that Solana is censorship resistant, which means that Solana was made to resist external measures that may want to limit it for one reason or another. In other words, Solana's architecture itself aims to satisfy 3 very important properties: scalability, security, and decentralization. Also, with Solana, nodes are called clusters, an independent group of computers, essentially, that works to preserve the record of events, which creates a decentralized ledger, which is also impossible to erase. As far as features go, both projects have their strengths, but for this particular section, we are going to give the W over to Avalanche. It wins because, in reality, Solana has some hacking problems that have drastically limited the amount of trust that its users have been willing to show. But now for this second round, we're going to consider the consensus mechanism, beginning with Avalanche, which, as we mentioned, is a POS, that's proof of stake consensus mechanism that is scalable, secure, and decentralized. And don't forget, Avalanche has 4,500 TPS for every subnet and is energy efficient because it doesn't need special hardware. Solana, on the other hand, has a main feature that is pretty innovative as far as consensus mechanisms go, because they developed a proof of history concept where nodes can verify the time and order of events, i.e. transactions. And this consensus is a variation of sorts on POS, proof of stake, but it uses a cryptographically secure function that records every feature of every transaction chronologically in its blockchain. The sequence is verified by clusters. And we are fans of Solana's consensus mechanism, that proof of history mechanism. So for this particular section, Solana is definitely different from a lot of other blockchains, including Avalanche, and therefore Solana gets the win here. Next round is going to get a little bit more contentious because we're talking about the level of decentralization, or the degree to which these projects are decentralized. And with AVAX, well, in short, the only indicator that proves how decentralized a blockchain really is the Nakamoto coefficient. This is something that we've talked about before. In the case of Avalanche, that coefficient is 26, keeping in mind that this blockchain has about 1,200 validators. In Solana's case, however, the blockchain has 1,249 validators, and the Nakamoto coefficient is close, it's 19. However, it's a small number right now. So just to give you an idea, right now there are 342,000 validators for ETH 2.0. And the reason for this disparity really boils down to costs. It costs quite a bit to build one of these validators. But right now there are many alternatives to build a node in Ethereum, everything from renting a node in AWS for a monthly payment or buying everything yourself, which can cost as little as $2,500. Still a lot, but more reasonable. But building a node in Avalanche costs right now 200 AVX, or approximately $15,000, and that's to open it. In Solana, it can cost you anywhere from 4 to 7,000 euros, or really between 5 and 10,000 roughly US dollars, mainly because of the hardware requirements. And therefore, for this particular category, Avalanche wins. Let's now consider the latest developments and positive news for each project out there. Avalanche, to begin with, and AVAX, they've developed the Avalanche Multiverse. This is a $290 million incentive program that wants to incentivize subnet adoption. There are more and more use cases for AVAX, like the new partnership, for example, with Arweave. This is where you can buy permanent storage with AVA tokens or build dApps with Avalanche as a backend. 1inch Network is also now on Avalanche, very exciting news. And as per this announcement, Avalanche will start supporting native Bitcoin as well. And finally, Terra has added Avalanche to its UST reserve. This is news that we have covered in the past. We're excited about this development. It is a positive, no doubt. But with Solana, we're seeing a lot of positives as well. For example, Rarible, which is a multi-chain NFT marketplace, they just added Solana. Solana. And Solana developed a hackathon that's called Riptide. Some of you may be familiar with that. Then we have Phantom, the most popular Solana wallet. They just launched an Android version, something that's been highly anticipated for a little while now. Surely you've heard about the Bitcoin conference in Miami, Florida. Well, the good news is that the Solana conference in Miami was also a great success. And there should soon be an announcement about an upcoming Solana conference in Lisbon, Portugal. And finally, OpenSea, which is the most popular NFT marketplace, they just added Solana, which means they're starting with a beta version. Stay tuned for that very soon. But despite the positives on both sides of the aisle here, in our opinion, Avalanche wins this section. It's just showing more important and more impressive milestones. Okay, now we get into tokenomics, beginning with AVAX, which of course is the native token of Avalanche. And at the time of recording, it's sitting at about $60.84 with a market cap in the range of $16.3 billion. AVAX traded for about $750 million in the last 24 hours. For context, AVAX is down by more than half from its all-time high set in November of last year. That was just a penny or two under $145 US. Its circulating and total supply is 268 and 377.7 million tokens respectively. And you can buy AVAX on all kinds of exchanges like crypto.com, HitBTC, Binance, Woo Network, BingX, and DigiFinex. You can also use the AVX token for all kinds of different use cases, including validator rewards, staking rewards, governance votes, and you can use it towards transaction fees. SOL, S-O-L, is the native token of Solana, and at the time of this recording, its price sits at $87.38 with a market cap just under 30 billion. We're looking at a market cap of $29.3 billion with a $1.1 billion US 24-hour trading volume. SOL is also down more than 50% from its all-time high, which was $259.96. That also happened in November of 2021. Its circulating supply is 332 million tokens, and its total supply is 508.1 million tokens. You can buy SOL on all kinds of exchanges like crypto.com, HitBTC, Binance, Woo Network, BingX, DigiFinex, and others, very similar to AVAX. This may be a little bit subjective, but as we see it, Solana's market cap and 24-hour trading volume are much higher, which means, at least arguably, that its ecosystem and community are growing faster. So as we view it, Solana wins this round. For our final category today, we're looking at ecosystem, beginning with AVAX, which is impressive. Avalanche's ecosystem has 191 decentralized applications in all kinds of sectors like culture, DeFi, enterprise, exchange, infrastructure, tools, and wealth management. For example, platforms like 1inch, Aave, Binance, Bitfinex, and Cartesi, all of these support Avalanche. And Avalanche has a native bridge platform which is in its beta stage. It works with MetaMask, Coinbase, and Wallet Connect. On the other hand, Solana has a very diverse and very impressive ecosystem, and it currently has more than 1,500 dApps from all kinds of different sectors, NFTs, for example, wallets, DEXs, decentralized exchanges, Web3 apps, and others. For example, a very popular dApp like Phantom, for example, Audius is another one, Orca, Serum, Radium, Solanart, Solend, and many, many more. Solana wins this round, and it's more of a definitive victory. As we see it, they simply have more dApps and more diversified dApps across more sections. So Solana wins this round pretty handedly. And there we have it. At the end of this, we walk away with a 3-3 tie. I guess you could say that the tiebreaker is going to have to go to the community. Let us know in the comments below. Who do you feel really should be the victor? Is it Avalanche and the AVAX token? Is it Solana and SOL? Because after analyzing these 6 factors, we can only conclude that both blockchains have tremendous potential. Both can scale sustainably, at least hopefully, in both the short term and the long term. But while they've both been developing, we can clearly see that Avalanche is the project that has shown fewer vulnerabilities in its execution. And that's a variable that remains at the forefront of crypto community members. Therefore, we believe that so far, Avalanche and its ecosystem represents a bit of a safer bet. But at the same time, we're so impressed with what Solana has done. we do not feel that they'll continue to have capital leaks by hackers, because ultimately this is a blockchain that's going to be able to correct this. Therefore, we recommend that you develop the habit of following the developments of these blockchains through their social media networks, of course, and that you continue to understand their fundamentals. So let's crowdsource this decision a little bit. Let us know, guys, in the comments below. What's the tie-breaking decision? Is it going to be Avalanche or is it going to be Solana that wins this round with a decisive 7th round crowd decision victory? You guys can let us know. If you're still watching this video, be sure to like, subscribe, share, hit the bell to receive notifications. Best of luck if you choose to invest, but never official financial or investment advice. Check out these other couple of similar videos, guys, if you've enjoyed today's content. Stay safe out there. And as always, we do hope to see you again soon in our next video. Take care.